This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Mari Ryan. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm here with you.
Ha 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 ha. Love that. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in Boston, Massachusetts.
Sweet. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time in history?
Oh, let's see. Probably my professional speaking.
Ooh, who did you learn that from?
Well, it's interesting. My earliest memories of speaking go back to when I was a teenager. And I remember being at an event where I was one of the speakers in front of, I was 16 years old, and here I was in front of a couple of hundred adults. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. They really care. They're here to hear what I have to say.
At that time, what were you speaking on? Do you remember?
It was probably something about ecology. I remember exactly where I was speaking. It was at the Welcome Center at the National Seashore, the National Seashore National Park in
Sweet.
Cape Cod. Yeah.
And what do you speak on now?
Now I speak mostly about elements of well-being in the workplace and how we can create thriving workplaces where employees' well-being is looked after and they can thrive.
Now, is there a consulting side of what you do as well with the speaking?
There is, yes. Actually, I'm a workplace well-being strategist.
So important. So what does that look like? Like, do you walk in the organization, guns blaring, like, you need to put this there, how does that look like?
No, totally the opposite, actually. We collect a lot of data first. We do an assessment. And from that, we get a snapshot or a picture from where they're starting. And then together, we work on creating a vision, mission, and strategy and goals and objectives about what well-being looks like in that workplace and how they can create a culture of well-being where employees thrive and where the business thrives. But we co-create that. So it's not my telling them what to do. It's working through both an educational and facilitated process so they can figure out what's right for them.
How do you measure it after to see the good that came from it?
Perfect question, and that is an important element. Communications and evaluation are two key elements of any well-being strategy in a workplace. So we can have dozens of different ways in which we measure well-being and impact.
That's wonderful. Wow, love it. All right, where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you?
Best place is probably on my company website, which is Advancing Wellness, and that's ADV, like a daily vitamin, wellness.com.
Love it. There's such a beautiful tone in the way you speak. It's so gentle. Like, it feels as though it's healthy, even in my workspace, which is the voice-to-voice conversation right now. Who did you learn that ability from, to be able to be approachable? That's what I'll use, to be approachable.
I don't know that I actually learned it as much as it's just who I am.
That's amazing. Love that. Tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
I would say that's probably my morning routine. I have a pretty set routine that I try to do every morning that starts upon waking. I have about 15 minutes or so of meditation. And then I usually do some sort of exercise. It varies depending on the season and the day of the week and what I feel like and what the weather's like. So there's a lot of variables, but I might walk, I might go to the gym, and do weightlifting. And during the reasonable season here in the Boston area, from April to November, I row on the Charles River.
Ooh, you row as well. Wow.
I'm a rower, yeah.
Wow. And for how long would you be rowing if you had to row?
When we're out, we're usually out in the morning. We do this early in the morning, so usually out for about an hour and a half.
Wow. All right. Why will you continue to do that? Like, oh my gosh, why will you continue to do that?
Well, because this morning routine makes me feel good, and it nourishes not only my physical well-being, but it nourishes my soul. And, oftentimes I'm doing some of this outdoors, and there's just that connection to being outdoors that is so important for me.
Love it. Amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from Mari Ryan, and you can connect with her, yeah? LinkedIn is a great place as well, right? Definitely
Yes.
Advancing Wellness, but LinkedIn is there as well, yeah?
LinkedIn is also great, yeah.
I love LinkedIn.
MariRyan.
There we go. All right, Marie. All right. Well, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Marie, what's your earliest childhood memory?
Well, I grew up in Boston, and in the Boston area in general. But I think my earliest memory probably was I was probably about 5 years old, and it's about playing in the neighborhood. You know, we had a bunch of kids in the neighborhood, and at the age of 5, if you can believe this, we would just be out running around in the neighborhood, playing, you know, and having fun and exploring the area. And that's really my earliest memories.
Why do you think it's so clear, this particular memory?
You know, I don't know. I went to first grade there, and then we moved after that. And I have lots of memories of, you know, the place I actually grew up, which was in a different town. But I don't know why. Just don't know why that's so clear. I don't know. Don't know the answer.
Sure. How do you see it connecting to who you are today? You running around.
Yeah, being outside and playing.
Yeah, I mean, well, it seems as though you did say that you love that, right? To this day.
I do. Yeah, I do love being outdoors. Yes. So I think there was just something, even though we were, you know, in the city of Boston at the time, in a densely populated area. Then when we moved, when I was 6 years old, we moved to an area where there was a lot of, forest and, natural landscape. And we lived outside. And so I think that, you know, just that access to nature is a core part of who I am.
So I've never said this, but it just popped in my mind, right? Like, by golly, I've gotten it. And, you know, I love the connection of the fact that you've had those both experiences and how it has positioned you to enter into the workplace and give that as well. So, and then help that be transformed as well, help that workspace to be transformed into something that is meditative, if you would, that then increases, as you said, wellness. And that's pretty cool, like from the transition. Not saying that the city doesn't give you that, but definitely by combining what you've experienced and putting that in strategically, that keyword strategically, it's cool how that connects.
I like the way you pull that together.
Yeah, it took me a while, but by golly, I got it.
Great job.
If we fast forwarded to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh, you know, it probably had to be a Beatles song because the Beatles were so big then. So probably something like I Want to Hold Your Hand or, you know, one of those early Beatles songs.
Love it. All right, my friend. All right. Well, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yep.
Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to, Marie?
I think I do that through some mentoring ways in which I work with individuals through some not-for-profit organizations.
All right. Are you married?
I am not.
Do you have children?
No, but I have a dog.
There we go. He or she?
She
counts.
My little Zoe.
There we go. Hey, Zoe.
Yep.
Do you believe in God?
I believe in the universe and the power of the universe.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Absolutely.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
Oh, what about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Less.
If you had to share with us, Mari, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
I would say that is I am here to creatively inspire people to accomplish what they set out to do.
Love it. Mari, this is such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I would like to share my gratitude for you how you do so many wonderful things, how you bring people together, how you make connections, and how you set your goals and accomplish them. So I want to thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for saying that. Mari Ryan, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.